Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. However you're watching, wherever you're watching, however you listen, wherever you listen, it's the Bet Online Salute Detroit podcast. I'm with my man Ryan, and we're coming to you live, late breaking. As you guys heard all the news today, we're here to talk to you, bringing in some recruiting news. Jerome Myles just rang the bell, hopped on the boat. He's officially a Trojan, 6'2", 210. So we're going to either say he's either between 6'1" and 6'3", and he's between 205 and 215, according to all the sites.
one of them has 6'3", 215, one's 6'2", 210. So, yeah, we'll go. You said it right. 6'1" to 6'3", 205 to 220.
Yeah, I use 24/7. So all my stuff comes from 24/7. 6'2", 210 is what I have from 24/7. 5-star receiver. Composite 4-star receiver. He's the number 98th player in the nation, which is huge, and he is the number 1 player in Utah, number 5 receiver in the nation, number 30th nationally. I'm sorry, his ranking is 98. That's pretty good stars.
Yeah.
Big-time recruit, Dennis Simmons is joining the recruiting game with Henny, and Coach Belt got a guy. I think this is a really good get. When he spoke, he said the most amazing thing any kid could say as a recruit, this guy is a Trojan. The reason why I went there, the reason why I'm going there is because it's more than just football. You could be successful in whatever you want to do. I like the lifestyle, this and that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if you go back on a podcast, I think it's LAFB, Salute Detroit podcast from a while ago, and I say, you know, that Los Angeles lifestyle should be able to recruit kids. It's not just the beaches. We own downtown LA. Blah, 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 this and that. I think somebody said that. I think his name is Coach Rowe. I'm not going to toot my own horn, beep, but I understand recruiting just a little bit. And this is one of the guys that's like, if I get a degree from USC, I am set for the rest of my life. Big time. Utah football is highly underrated too, which a lot of people don't know. It's in the little corner of Nevada. It's the 4 corners with New Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona, like that tucked away Southwest. You're from the tucked away Southwest. People really don't understand how good it really is. And there's a lot of dudes who come out. He's going to be a big body. He reminds me body type wise, kind of early Brenden Rice. You know what I mean? Like, throw now, go and make big yards, make big plays, tough to tackle. Once he gets 10 pounds on him, and he can get really good. I think he's a little bit faster, but I think he be able to block better and do those types of things. This is another 2025 get. This guy's in the boat. Julian Lewis class just got bigger. And it seems like, what's funny, Ryan? Every time Julian Lewis, as there's a new commit, Julian Lewis pops up like, yep, we got another one. I can't wait to throw you the ball. Like, this dude is the Big Ten recruit. I was about to say Pac-10, Big Ten recruit of the year. I can't wait to see him on the field. Jerome Myles, big get out of Draper, Utah. What do you got on it?
Yeah, huge get. 5-star, as you mentioned, number 5 receiver in the entire class. One of 32 5-star recruits. Like I think a lot of people, myself included, sometimes forget how elite you have to be to get that 5th star. Because, I mean, there's a lot of great 4 stars, but to get that 5th star, there's only 32 total 5 stars in the nation. So he is one of those. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So 1 of 32, that's pretty good. And there's a lot of colleges going after you. And originally committed to Ole Miss, actually, a while back. Decommitted like a year ago. So it's been a while. Opened his recruitment up, and then that's when he exploded. He's a track star. He holds the Utah state record for the 100 meter and the 200 meter. So not just the size, but the speed. So huge get. He automatically becomes one of the top players in this class. Some you could argue Julian's 1, he's 2, or vice versa. Whatever website you look at. But yeah, brings this class to 5 or 4 receivers now. And what's interesting, Coach, and you've talked about this a lot. We've talked about it cumulatively about how to build a roster. And, year 1, you got to hit the portal more, start building recruits. Year 2, portal a little less, building recruits. Year 3 should really be having that recruiting prowess. And we're seeing that, right? Like year 1, actually, and I'm talking specifically receivers right now. Year 1 in Lincoln Riley was 4 receivers right off the bat. That was this class we're seeing right now perform. It was Makai Lemon, Zachariah Branch, Jacoby Lane, and Deuce Robinson. Year 2, it was just the one recruit, 5-star kid, but just the one recruit because they had the 4 the previous year. And then now this year 4, and we'll see if they're done. I would assume they're probably done at the receiver position. But hitting those forks will be perfect. Next year, that 23 class will be juniors. Now this 25 class comes in as freshmen. They basically tutor under all these top 4 elite receivers. And then once they all leave after next year, they take the torch as sophomores, basically like what's happening this year. So really setting this cycle up of this wide receiver U, which USC has always been known for, but continuing that tradition and doing it in a way that makes a lot of sense in that regard. So Dennis Simmons, hats off. I think he's proven as an elite recruiter that's underrated, an elite developer. When you look around the league, I mean, hats off. Drake London, walk-off touchdown on Monday Night Football for the Atlanta Falcons. All these elite USC wide receivers in the league. I know in this particular case, Lincoln Riley was heavily involved directly in his recruiting, and he spoke on that about how Lincoln Riley was really relatable, made him feel comfortable, made him feel like more than just a football player, which I think coaches, as we've gotten to know, not really necessarily know Lincoln Riley, but we've heard a lot more. They obviously are having more success in the field, but I think that's something that has come out a lot more recently, is that the players really like the Lincoln Riley experience. Like they really can relate to him as a coach because he does more than just the X's and O's. Like, yes, he's a genius in offense, but from everything we've heard is players really feel comfortable with him because of how he makes them feel, not just as a football player, but as a human being. And there's a lot of coaches like that, but there's probably a lot that aren't like that. So I think that's another thing that we're learning kind of in this year 3. And kind of last thing I'll say is, we knew back in June, there was those 3 big decommits and everyone started freaking out. We knew that all USC had to do was get a little stronger with NIL and win on the football field, and it would take care of itself. And only 2 games in, and they've already got 3 big-time recruits and more coming. They're not done yet. There's a lot more coming, which we'll get into. But it just shows that how much winning can solve a lot of things that maybe scare people in the offseason.
Just calm down. And we touched on that. It was like, hey, you just need to calm down. And I want to say this too. There's 2 things I want to address. One is the visit to the Coliseum. That was a big weekend, and I don't think people understand how much the Coliseum is rocking when things are going right. It gets loud in there. It's that bowl stadium, and the sound can only exit one way through the peristyle, right? Everything else is closed in. It can only exit through the peristyle. Another thing is, I think our NIL is probably top 5 now. We're beating out top NIL schools. Ever since this merger between HOV and I forgot the other one now.
Conquest.
Ever since HOV and Conquest merged, we've been beating out schools that are NIL crazy. Texas A&M, Ole Miss. I think we have the top 5.
And no, you're absolutely right. But sorry to cut you off, but I think too.
No, you're good.
Like again, the numbers don't exactly always come out, but just from chatter, like some of these other recruits are actually taking a little bit less to come to SC now too. So there's like some of these bigger schools are still offering more, not on everyone. And I'm not putting numbers on them, but I've heard chatter that there's, and I'm not even saying a specific recruit, but heard chatter that there has been whatever schools that may be offering more, but SC offers more overall than just the NIL bag, which is what we've been saying. That's the whole package, right? Like you have to offer a competitive rate at NIL. You can't do a laughable offer. Like you have to be competitive in that space, but then you have to show all that the university, the program, the development offers too. And USC is doing that right now.
When you think about it, when you really think about it, there's 2 schools. If the NIL is right. Well, technically it should be 3. Technically it should be 3. But there's 2 schools when the NIL is right.
Yep, I know you're going.
It's a scary, scary place. It's scary, and they will be on top of the NIL world. One of them, we have the privilege to have a podcast for, right? The other one is 3,000 miles east on the Atlantic Ocean with the exact same lifestyle. And look how good they got that fast. I said this a while ago, and people thought I was crazy. I said, the SEC is going to become average, and everybody's going to be able to level out because they're all playing the same game now. And look at what we're looking at. The SEC is starting to become average, and this is 4 years in, right?
Yeah.
This is 4 years.
He's referring to Miami for those who didn't catch it.
Oh yeah, Miami. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Miami. I'm talking about.
I'm sure everyone knew what you're talking about, but just in case.
But like, yeah, it's starting to level out, and UCLA should be just as good, but they're a basketball school, and there's other issues that Will the Thrill and Jamal need to talk about.
Yeah,
I really don't care.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're a basketball school, so their basketball team is going to be Final Four minimum every year, right? But football wise, like, think about this. Florida is struggling to raise $24 million right now. And I asked some of my buddies, I said, do you think Florida's a blue blood? And they both instantly said, nope, they're not. They're a name. They may be a big logo, but they're not a blue blood university. When you think of nostalgia of college football, you don't think of Florida. You think of USC, Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, Miami, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. Like, when you really think about it, you don't really think about Florida. And you see it now. I mean, maybe because they're asking for the money again, but I don't think SC has an issue raising $24 million to get rid of a coach because, guys, this is your ROI. You're investing into these NILs and these collectives, and they're not producing. We need wins. He has to get out. Here you go. Cut the check. Let's make it work. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Texas
yeah.
A&M doesn't have it. Texas is also a blue blood before I get killed. I didn't mention Texas. Texas is a blue blood. Oh, I did? Okay.
You didn't say A&M, but you said Texas. Yeah.
A&M's not a blue blood.
Yeah. No, I agree. You said Texas, though. You're good. You covered that.
Yeah. So, like, it's like, when you think about it, like, now you're giving, I could say, and people could argue it, but I could say two of the most wealthiest blue bloods in college football, uncapped amount of money to recruit whatever player they want is dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can compete with those two schools. They're two private schools on a coast and party towns and party cities that could become really famous. And what does every 18-year-old want? I could sit you on the court next to Kim Kardashian on your recruiting visit, and you become a celebrity overnight, instantly. You can only do that in two places in all of America.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, people could argue this all day, all night, 365 days a year. But in my opinion, the two greatest ever college football teams are USC and Miami. Those obviously the Pete Carroll at USC teams and those vaunted Miami teams. So there's a reason for that. That was pre-NIL, but
we'll talk about it later. But there's some Tommy Frazier years, and I'm a big Tommy Frazier fan. That Nebraska team was pretty solid.
Oh, exactly. You could argue a lot of different teams. Those are just, that's what I said. We can talk about. Two are hard to beat. So
I got you. No, you're right. But hey, we got a little bit off track. Jerome Ford, he's in the boat.
Jerome Myles.
Sorry.
Who's Jerome? That name, that's an NFL player, right?
I don't know.
That name is someone.
Yeah. Jerome Myles in the boat. I can't wait to see him on campus.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to say, too. That's an SC guy, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's an SC guy. He's not looking to go to the NFL. The NFL is the byproduct of him getting a degree from USC. So even if he goes in 3 years, I guarantee you every spring he'll be back on campus taking class and graduating from school because he's going to take advantage of what's given to him for free. And he's going to take advantage of it really well. Like, that's SC guy. I'm really liking what Lincoln Riley's doing. I can't wait to see these classes develop. We're moving forward, keep progressing. And what did I tell you guys earlier? I'm going to bring up what I told you guys earlier. After I messed up our times.
Oh, wait, you were texting us your name?
Yep. You know what solves all problems in programs? Winning. SC might be top 5 in NIL now. If they start winning, look out. If Miami and SC starts winning, I know this isn't a Miami show, but I mean, Miami is USC East Coast. Like, we know that.
Yeah.
USC starts winning. Look out. Look out. I don't think anybody could keep it. Well, nobody will catch Oregon, but Oregon's strategy right now is not working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The money that they're putting into it is not what they're expecting to get out. But Phil Knight is almost gone, so he really doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like it's his money.
That's gonna dry up soon.
Yes.
Not to sound callous, but yeah, Coach. Last thing I'll say, and we are, for those listening, we are going to be dropping our preview show right after this. We got a great guest from Rivals who covers Michigan, so he'll be joining us. But so I don't know if we'll ask him this because I don't want to be polite, obviously. But Michigan this weekend has a big recruiting weekend. A lot of recruits come into the big house to watch this game.
Reschedule.
This is an opportunity for USC to steal those commits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some big name guys that might see SC and like, ooh, they look nicer than Michigan. Why am I considering Michigan? I'm going to sunny SoCal. So this is a big opportunity for SC to steal recruits, even though they're not officially visiting them.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And I'm gonna ask them this question too. Like, it's funny how this game turned from should to could, right? It turned from we could win to we should win. You know what I mean? And for them, it turned in we could win. You know, when before the season should, but when we win, I can imagine we get some flips on the recruiting board too. There's other things we need to talk about. You can have me go down the whole road of that's game prep, so we'll talk about that. But this is a winnable game, and I think the bat signal is going to go out on Sunday. Guaranteed.
Ooh.
Guaranteed the bat signal goes out Sunday. We're going to do our show Saturday after the game, but Sunday the bat signal's for sure going out. Guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Dang, Coach. All right.
Good deal. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, that was it. All good.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for watching. This is a Bet Online Salute Detroit podcast on a recruiting update. We'll be back in a couple hours for the Michigan game prep. Go to betonline.ag, put in promo code BELIEVE, get a $50 match. Go to underdogfantasy.com, put in promo code USCLAFB, get a $100 match on your deposit. You guys know how this goes. Bet Online, Salute Detroit podcast, live free, fight on.